There's two big name wide receivers that we're going to talk about first. I got to get everyone's thoughts on these guys, man. I got some opinions myself. Um, we got Chase and we got Smith, man. Who do you guys feel? And we got a bunch of other good receivers in this draft as well. But who do you guys feel stands out in this wide receiver class? Any sleepers? And who are your top picks as far as wide receivers go in this 2021 draft? I'm gonna start with Scruff.
All right, so I'm gonna start with the first one, and that's answering your question of who I like between Jamar Chase and Devonta Smith, or who's the best wide receiver in the draft, if you will. And it's tough for me, man, because I was huge on Jamar Chase, um, but I've grown to fondly of Devonta Smith, just because I go with the football players that just get it done on tape, and that man's just a football player, man, and he gets the job done. He may not have the measurables. He knew damn well not to go to the combine at his weight. So he's just a football player. He doesn't necessarily have to measure up, but great football players tend to get it done. I think that's what makes players like that, the great greats, so great. And Devontae Smith has that type of all-time talent to him. Jamar Chase has everything that you need too. I think he'll be great as well. But if you got to give me one sure shot, I'm going to take Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I understand that completely, man. Devontae Smith seems like he's more complete, so to say, than Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is a baller though, so don't take that wrong. T, who's the best receiver in this class if it's not Chase or Smith? And if it is one of those two, who you got?
I mean, honestly, the best receiver is Cal Pitts, but they got him listed as a tight end. But my favorite is Jalen Waddle. It's been my favorite. He was his stats were better than Devontae Smith's last season before he broke his ankle. And honestly, without Jalen Waddle going down, Devontae Smith doesn't have 1,800 yards and all those touchdowns. He doesn't win. You know what I'm saying? What was that? The Blitnikoff Award or whatever for the receivers. He doesn't get that if Waddle plays. But the fact that he was able to pick up uh, where Waddle left off and become a big play threat consistently kind of let me know that Smith's legit too. But I like Waddle, man. I mean, just super fast guy. I mean, he's next level fast. You'll see comparisons to Tyreek Hill. He's not Tyreek Hill fast. He's probably a step slower, which is still insanely fast. But when he gets the ball, his acceleration, I mean, it's crazy. If you watch the footage, honestly, the more I watch Waddle, the more I watch Devontae Smith, the more I hate Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys made the game so easy. I mean, watch the Waddle highlights. You know what I'm saying? I know Chase. Let me speak to Chase real quick. Chase is a big play receiver. To me, he looks the part. You know what I'm saying? And amazingly, he's only 6 feet. He might not even be 6 feet, but he's a legit 200 pounds, 210 maybe. He's solid. He looks like a true number one outside threat. He looks like we get in the red zone. You don't have a corner that can defend him. Devontae Smith, I don't know. I haven't seen him in press coverage too often. The times I did see him in press, he didn't really do a lot of fighting. He had some decent releases. But Waddle, man, you can't even press that guy. You can't press him. He's lightning fast. The media is pushing him to the 49ers. I mean, I just hate him because everybody else's talent jumps off the tape when you watch Alabama. And Mac Jones kind of looks like a game manager. But I'm going to try to keep this about Waddle. Waddle's my guy. Another guy I like is Kadarius Toney in Florida. They label him as the shiftiest guy in college. He just might be. He reminds me of Curtis Samuel. That's a name for you guys, at least for you, Rome. He reminds me of Curtis Samuel or Debo Samuel. He's not a polished route runner yet. He's not a finished NFL product. But what you can do is put him in the slot or hand the ball off to him or let him punt return or let him kick return. And you need role players to win games. Everybody you draft isn't going to be a star. You need guys to fill roles. And I think he can come right in and at least back up a guy in the slot and be your starting kick returner and make things happen. So Kadarius Toney will be my sleeper. But my favorite receiver is Waddle, man. He just has something you can't teach. You know, that acceleration. When he gets the ball, defenders, he just separates. Even the fast guys, that doesn't always happen, but happens with Waddle.
Yeah, I like that pick. I definitely like that pick. Waddle is probably the best deep threat in this draft, and it's probably not even really that close.
Not even close.
G, who I know you like LSU receivers, man. I know you were a big fan of OBJ. Who is the best receiver coming out this year? Are you going with the man from LSU or one of these Alabama cats?
I'm gonna have to go. Right now, the Giants are talking about Alabama. We're not going to LSU this time for receiver. We're going to Alabama, and I don't know right now, man. They're talking about Waddle or Smith, and I'm praying to God. I'm praying to God. I called it last time with Saquon, but I'm gonna have to go with the Heisman winner this time around with Smith. Yeah, his size is like questionable, but just pump him some protein, man. That boy get big. You know, shit. That's all they need. Some good proteins. I ain't saying juice now. He ain't got to be Jose Canseco now. He ain't got to do all of that. My boy just needs to eat some protein. Get that boy at a Spanish restaurant. That boy gonna eat a lot of carbs and beans. He be good. He be all right. He be big up in here in New York. But I'm
That
gonna have
boy
to go
ain't gaining no weight.
with the Heisman winner, man. He's gonna gain the weight, man. The kid is he's a Heisman winner for a reason, man. I'm praying that he falls down to the 11th spot. But if we can't get Smith, I'm gonna have to go with Water on that one because these Alabama boys is where, like, I think this class is between A1 and AB. I get those are my two guys right now that I'm thinking. Like, I'd rather give some Danny Dimes some more weapons, and between those two, Waddle is a better slot receiver right now. But shit, who's to say Smith can't be a better outside guard or slot receiver?
No, he's kind of
Yeah.
light. Kind of light. I mean, we know, right? With three of these guys,
I mean,
more than likely, at
going
least
up the
two of them
middle,
are going to
but
go crazy. At least two are going to be perennial Pro
that's
Bowlers.
what.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, y'all picking up the top, man. I want to see some talent out here, so I'm gonna go a little deeper on my board. Not too deep, but deep enough that
Terrence Mann.
I'll throw another Terrence Marshall. I was
Eli-
gonna
Oh,
say
Marshall.
Elijah
Terrence
Moore
Marshall
was.
from LSU,
Yeah.
I was
Rondell
gonna say
Moore.
Elijah Moore.
Two guys I like. You know what I'm saying?
Elijah Moore, like that's my guy.
Yeah, there's a
Terrence
lot
Marshall
of
Jr. Sleeper.
there's a lot of receivers in here that you could go with as some sleepers. But going back to the guys at the top real quick, I would say my favorite receiver coming out this draft is probably going to be Smith. I know he ate a lot because Waddle went down and all that, but something about his route running, just the complete overallness about the position that stands out to me that I would draft him probably before any other receiver. But I'm gonna drop a mock draft here in a couple weeks, so I don't want to give too much away on my sleepers. But y'all were dropping some nice ones. Scruff, man, why don't you give me a couple more, man? I know you got some good ones in there.
Man, I just gave
It's,
them to you. Rondell Moore and Terrence Marshall Jr. That's my two. Terrence Marshall Jr. is a guy that I like a lot, though. So I mean, I'll give you a little bit more on him. He's 6'3". He's fast as shit. He played on that LSU team. He was very productive. He was very productive. He was just as productive as the other two guys that are studs in the NFL. And you know what happens when you play behind studs? You just end up just stepping in and doing all right, but then you kind of get overlooked. And that's the same way I feel about Mac Jones, but different conversation.
I mean, my thing with Terrence Marshall, I'm not sure if he's a first round pick. I will say it's a lot easier to play receiver in the NFL than it's ever been. I mean, people can't really hit you like they used to coming across the middle. You don't really have to have as much weight. But Marshall, I don't know if he's polished enough to come in there and be an impact player day one that you would want in the first round. I mean, look what happened to Jalen Reagor. He came in there
Yeah.
and the kid needs a little more time. I think some of these guys need a little more time, and you draft them on potential, and then the fans go crazy and call him a bust. I think you can see some of that with Terrence Marshall. I mean, he's 6'3". He struggles with the things that the taller receivers do. You know what I'm saying? Getting in and out of breaks on intermediate routes.
It's all
Anything.
perspective, though.
I
It's
mean,
all
it is. I
perspective.
mean, it's scheme, it's team, it's ownership. I mean, it's a lot of pieces in play. I would hope he didn't go to the Ravens.
That's a fair point.
If he goes
that
in the
he's
first
making.
round, let's say if he goes in the first round, obviously he's going to be, people are going to say, oh, they reach. But then you got a guy that goes in the second round, oh, he's a steal. easily becomes a steal that easy. You know, I take a guy like you take a guy like Jalen Rieger, but he probably should have maybe went. He was a late first, early second round kind of guy, just like Denzel Mims was. You know, and Denzel Mims fell the second round. Now if he would have been a reach at 21, but he's a steal at 35. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, but he's
kind of like a Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk came in and was ready to play.
Exactly. A lot like Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk was really a second round pick, and they decided to pick him in the late first.
But he was ready. I mean, that's also scheme too. I mean, that's what I was saying. Like,
yeah, all that factors into where somebody goes.
Right. You came
That's
into.
Why it's nice to have an early second round pick. That's all I'm saying. Terrence Marshall's on the board when the Eagles picked in the second round. Shit, okay. Come on down.
I mean, I like Marshall as a number 3. I like him as a big slot before I move him outside. But I don't think he's ready to come in and carry a team. I could be completely wrong. But I think out of the 3 LSU receivers, him, Jefferson, and Chase, I think he's clearly, the third best out of that group. And the other 2 are like way higher than him.
So looking at this wide receiver class, let's compare it to last year's real quick. Do you think that this class is going to have more of an impact once they're drafted than last year's did? Because I would say, in my opinion, last year's class was kind of a flop.
No, I think this year.
I don't think so.
At least in year one, I would say.
I don't think so.
I think the receivers last year are better than you're giving them credit for. I'll take last year's crop.
As a whole, though, not just you can't cherry pick the ones that had some good seasons. As a whole, I would say the class wasn't all that.
I mean, who were the misses? All right, we got Ruggs that he didn't live up to what we thought.
Jerry Jeudy didn't really live up to it.
But he had nobody throwing him the ball.
That's fair. That's fair, and you can say the same about CeeDee Lamb. But I mean, like I said, in year one, these guys didn't.
CeeDee Lamb
played pretty well, considering that.
CeeDee Lamb looked amazing with all those backups.
At points, he looked amazing. Yeah. At points, he looked amazing.
I don't know. I think CeeDee Lamb could finish better than Jefferson. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, bro. If you actually watch the game,
about that one.
Get him a quarterback.
I watched plenty of CD.
Bro, he was balling, bro. Like they didn't. Then you got Chase Claypool, T. Higgins. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't a bad class at all.
I'm not saying it was bad. I feel like they're underwhelmed.
Laviska Shenault had a very productive season.
Ayuk had a good season. I mean, but to me, that goes
I didn't even mention Jalen Rieger. Shit.
Oh, come on now, bro.
To me, that goes back to this. It's easier to play receiver in the NFL now, right? And once upon a time, the college game didn't fully translate to the NFL game. You know, guys weren't running the complete route tree, that sort of thing. Now, the college coaches, the college offense philosophies have just matriculated to the NFL. It's a lot of spread. It's a lot of wide open. It's a lot of spacing. It's not a whole bunch of I formation and, you know what I'm saying, twin tight ends, 3 tight ends, 1 receiver sets. You know, it's a lot of guys that you can scheme guys open. Just run them in motion now, man. You don't even got to
be quick and fast.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.